Hey guys, it's been a long day already. It's currently 11:30 and I'm just now getting ready for the day, and by that I mean like doing my makeup and hair. As you can see, it's been raining where I live and it has absolutely destroyed my schedules because the baby sleeps later because it's darker outside, and so that's super fun. And so every schedule has gotten off, and she just went down for her nap, which hopefully lasts long enough. It's been fun lately. But anyway, I wanted to do a get ready with me type of video, a chit chat. I'm just gonna tell you about my Labor Day weekend and the heat stroke I had. It's great. But I'm also gonna obviously get ready for the day and kind of do that. So let's get started. I'm going to use my CoverGirl Outlast All Day Stay Fabulous in Ivory with a beauty blender, and I usually just spray that with my e.l.f. makeup mist or setting spray, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. So this weekend we had gotten invited to go down to Manhattan to see my brother perform, and he is currently a senior in high school, and this summer he did like a music program where, it's a music program where they play music. But he just started drums. He's been doing saxophone for the last couple of years, and he just started drums because he got, I think, a little bored of the saxophone, and he got more interested in the drumming, and that's probably due to the fact that my dad was a drummer through like his whole life, and so my dad started teaching my brother a little bit before he passed away, so I think that has a lot to do with the interest in drumming, which is pretty cool. But he just got serious about it like this last year, and he already got into the All-Star. It's like, so K-State has like this All-Star thing where it's, and I'm sure there's other places, but I don't really know. And it's like high schoolers for the summer, they like train and learn, and they play at the college field. And it was pretty cool. So we got invited to go down to see him perform. And so, of course, I went. And so anyway, we got our tickets, which weren't crazy, but they weren't like cheap either. I'll tell you that. And so we thought we had this thing all planned out. We were going to go up there. We were going to meet up with everybody before the game, do something, who knows. I mean, go out to eat, whatever, stay out of the heat for a little bit, until we wanted to go down there to walk to the stadium. Because that stuff is already filled by, days before, and we just drove up the day of, which is only like a 2-hour drive for us. And of course we drug our... drugged, that's what it sounded like. We drug our 10-month-old up with us thinking, oh, this will be cool for her to see. She'll like all the stuff, all the people walking around, all that stuff. Let me tell you, it wasn't horrible, like, on her front, but, like, because of all the stuff that happened, it would have been so much easier to not have her, but it was fun taking a car ride, like, having a day trip up somewhere, because we don't get to do that very often. But anyway, we went up there, and we left a little early. It's like we got there like a couple hours early, because, that's what everybody said to do, because it was going to be super busy, super whatever, hard to get a spot. And I don't know what happened, but like lack of communication with the people we were meeting up with, I don't know. It was like we were trying to get the information, because they had been up there since Friday. Like, we were trying to, like, figure out where to meet up with everybody. Sorry, I'm baking now. I did my concealer, which is the Master Conceal by Face Studio. I just did a little bit of that under my eyes and on my chin, and now I'm just baking a little bit, or setting, really, because I bake sometimes, but who knows. I just kind of do what I feel like doing for the day. But anyway, so I don't know what happened, but we couldn't get an answer out of anybody. Like, we couldn't hardly get texts back. I don't know, it just took forever, so I don't know if we had just bad reception, or they just weren't texting us, or they were busy. I mean, they would text us and be like, oh, we have to do something real fast, and we'd be like, okay, well, where do you want us to meet you? All these things, and we could not get a straight answer to save our lives. So we're like, okay, well, we'll just go to the McDonald's, right? And just, that way we can get out of the car, you know, get some better air conditioning and things like that. And now I'm going to contour with my Milani highlight and contour. But so we did that, and we got some lunch, you know. And of course, we have no idea where anything is in Manhattan. We are confused. We don't go there. I did not go to college down there at all. So we absolutely have no idea what to do, you know. So we do that, and then we get in the car, and we're like, okay, well, what are we going to do now, you know? So we text them and say, okay, where are we meeting up at? Again, no answer, and we were like, okay, well, we'll just go find a parking spot, because it's, you know, they fill up pretty fast, and you want one that's semi-close so you don't have to walk for days to the, which is an exaggeration, but to the stadium. And so we find one, but I mean, it's still a couple blocks, you know, away from the stadium. And of course, at the time we didn't know this, but we parked on the complete wrong side of the stadium from what our seats were. So that was fun, because we didn't know any better, because we had no one helping us. So that was cool. And of course, you can't just ask anybody until you're all the way up to the gate, and by that time you don't want to walk all the way back to your car. But so we find a parking spot, and we say, okay, well, we'll sit in the car for a little bit, because we did not want to get out of the car with Little Miss Pepper, because it was just too hot. It was too hot to just sit out there, you know, and I didn't want to do that. And fun fact, I don't sweat at all. Like, I don't know why. It takes a lot for me to sweat at all. It's super weird. So I just get overheated, like, really fast. We didn't think it was going to be that hot that day, obviously. We didn't know until the day of, but I was trying to take care of myself, like trying to make sure I didn't get overheated by staying in the air conditioning a lot. But anyway, we stayed in the car for like a good 2 hours waiting to hear what the frick we were supposed to do, because we still had no idea what the plan was. We got invited to go up there, and we thought it was going to be this thing where we got to hang out with everybody, and no one was getting back to us. It was rather frustrating, as you can imagine, especially with a 10-month-old who is just as fair as me, and doesn't handle the heat awesomely. I mean, she handles it better than me, but, you know, which is crazy. I will just say that. But anyway, we went up there. Well, we finally were in our car, and we got a text back that they were going to go to Aggieville, park, and shuttle over. And so we were thinking, okay, cool, well, we'll get up there about the same time as they will, kind of thing. They said they were going to get a drink and a snack and be up there. So we were like, okay, we'll wait just a second, and then we'll go up there. So we started walking, and as soon as I got out of the car, I, like, knew I was in trouble, because it was so hot. It was like 101, and there was no wind. Absolutely none. Like, it was so hot, and there was all these people. Of course, it's all crowded, and so we're walking, and it takes us forever to get up there. So by the time I even get on, like, the campus grounds, or I guess the stadium area, you still have to walk, like, crazy distance, and, like, over a little bit, to get to the, like, the doors, like, where they do the metal detectors and all that stuff. So I'm walking, and I just start feeling really shaky and, like, sick. Like, I started getting, like, goosebumps. Like, I was cold, but I was dying. I was hot. I was very hot, and I was trying to drink water, and of course I was drinking water. It was making me feel sick. And I knew I was in trouble. I was like, if I don't get to my seat now, like soon, I am going to have a serious problem here. And of course, that's not how that works. By the time we got up in the line, I thought, well, maybe if I just get in line and just am standing, or I can like crouch in line or whatever, I'll be okay. I'll just take a break because then I'm not walking. Yeah, that didn't work. I stood there, and it was just all these people were crowding around me. And, of course, on one side is the building, right? And then the other side is the parking lot where everybody's tailgating. So I'm getting all the heat from all the cookers, like all the grills, all those things. It feels like it's just hitting my back. Like I feel like the sun is personally attacking me at this point. And I start trying to, like, okay, in my head I was like, calm down. It's okay, we're going to make it to our seat, it's fine. But then at the same time, I'm starting to hyperventilate because I feel so just hot, like just miserable hot. I've never felt that way before. Sorry, let me pause for a second. I'm going to now contour with my little Salon Perfect. It's an eyebrow palette, but I prefer it for contour. I'm going to get my little contour brush. But anyway, so I'm just like dying at this point, and we're in line, and I keep telling my husband, you know, I don't feel good, I don't feel good, I don't know if I'm going to make it at this point, and I'm like, I feel really shaky, lightheaded, and he keeps trying to ask me questions, you know, he's like, are you okay, do I need to go do this, what do I need to do, and at this point, my brain is just not working at all, like, in the slightest, and so he's asking these questions, and I can't respond to him because I literally can't talk because I'm hyperventilating, and I start crying. And I'm like crying because like I feel like I was having an anxiety or panic attack because I just couldn't. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I couldn't speak. I felt like I could not like make it. I could not walk any further. I felt like somebody had to carry me. And so I grabbed his arm. I remember grabbing his arm because I couldn't like verbally speak. And I just started like doing one of these. Like I just started going back, and I kind of like did like 2 steps, and Chase kind of like caught my back or whatever, and I honestly can't remember all that well what exactly happened there, but he caught me, and of course we're trying to do this. My poor husband is trying to take care of me and our baby who is in the stroller at this point. She's okay. I mean, she's obviously getting red, but we have her, like her hat, her sun hat that she was wearing, we had it like covered in water, you know, so she would stay cool, and we were trying to push her, you know, she wasn't walking or anything, obviously, so she was doing okay, not obviously how I would like her to be. I would like her to be cool enough, but anyway, at that point, I just was grabbing him, and he was freaking out, and we were up to the little metal thingies, and there was like a gate, you know, where the people actually stand and like usher you through. There's like a little space. Well, there just happened to be like an official guy, like I don't know what he was. He wasn't an EMT, he wasn't anybody, he just had a name tag and he worked there, but he looked like he was in charge of the younger people. He was an older man. And he saw me, and I think he knew. Like he just saw me, and he was like, oh, you have a stroller, come this way, and he let us cut line. And he's like, are you okay? And I was like literally crying. I could not talk. I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And I just remember saying that. And he just immediately whooshed me into like this little, it's like fan accommodations. And it's this little tiny office thing that's like air conditioned, which was heaven sent. I'll tell you that right now. I was so hot. The lady got me that was working in there. She got me a washcloth and a new drink of water that was nice and cold. She got Pepper a washcloth. And my husband at this point, he's used to this because he's an electrician, so he works in the heat all day. So he's used to it. He's not having the same problem that I'm having. Pepper and I have been inside almost all summer just because, you know, her age and things like that wasn't really an option to go out a lot of the times because it was just too hot. And so we're in there, and several other ladies, older ladies, were in there, and because they had gotten too hot as well. Sorry, I'm getting the foundation off my lips because I hate that so much. So I'm just taking my blush with my little fluffy blur. My fluffy brush. There we go. I'm just popping that on my cheeks a little bit. So we're in there, and she kind of says, you know, oh, well, your seats are on the other side. And I'm thinking, I do not know how I'm going to walk to the other side of this freaking stadium because the stadium is huge. And it was just, I was just thinking, how am I going to get back out in this heat? I don't know how I'm going to do that. And she's like, well, there's another family accommodations over by your seats that has the air conditioning, so you need to go over there. And so we're like, okay. So once I feel like semi-better, like semi-okay, like I can maybe walk some more, we get out, and immediately that heat just immediately hits me, and I'm just instantly right back to where I was. Because if any of you guys have ever had something like this, you know that once you get that way, you're done for the day. You can't get back out in the heat. Your body is already like depleted, and every time you get back out in the heat, it's just going to make it worse. You're going to be right back where you were. Everybody knows that. I knew that, but I was really just trying to hold on because I really wanted to stay, and I really wanted to watch my brother perform. And I thought, you know, as soon as I get to my seats, maybe I'll get some airflow. It'll still be hot, but at least I'm sitting. But anyway, so we go to the fan accommodations, and this lady is the rudest lady I think I've ever freaking met when we go to the other side. She's like, I mean, I guess you can be in here, but only for a couple of minutes. And she gives me that look like, please get out. And I'm like, okay, well, this is where the lady, I told her, I said, this is where the lady told me to go. So is there somewhere else I need to be? And she said, well, you really need to go to the first aid. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, no, duh. But this is where they told me to go. I didn't even see a fucking first aid. Please excuse my language. I didn't see a first aid. Where's the first aid? Someone tell me. I have never been here before. Despite my appearance, I am not a college student here. I have no idea what I'm doing or where I'm going at this point. And so they said, oh, well, the first aid is actually back the way you came. It's like right by this area, so like right by where I was. And so I had to wait a little bit until I felt better. And of course, I wanted to get out of there, so I didn't wait as long as I should have. And we walked to the first aid, and by the time I am by the first aid, I am literally about to pass out again, and my husband is holding me up on my back. And tell me why this lady did not think to like call first aid, because I didn't know that they could do this, obviously. I mean, I knew, but no one was offering it to me, I guess. I wasn't thinking. But the first aid could have come and got me and got in a wheelchair and like come and wheeled me to the thing, but of course no one was paying attention, and no one offered it to me because whatever. We even had one of the ladies that's the ask me a question kind of lady, and she had no idea what she was doing. She had no idea where anything was. She needed a map. She didn't know what she was doing, and I was like, okay, if this is your job, you should probably know what you're doing, because this is not helping me at all. Like, I literally feel like I'm about to go to the hospital at this point. And I get to the first aid, and they're super nice. They usher me in, and they let me sit on a seat. Well, I just sit at the thing closest to me, which is the seat, because I wasn't just going to lay down on one of the beds, obviously. And the guy comes up to me, he's like, okay, how are you feeling? Do you need to lay down? And at that point, when I don't feel good, I don't like to, like, lay down, especially if I feel like I'm going to faint. I like to do, like, my head down on my knees area. So I was doing that, and he was like, well, I might have to get you an IV, I don't know. And of course, right as he's talking to me, another guy comes in, and he's an older man who I think had like type 2 diabetes is what he was saying. And he had fainted on the stage or collapsed. He was coherent and everything by the time he got to the deal. He was just like, yeah, that was embarrassing, because he knew better is what he said. And so, of course, that guy came in, and so they treated him first because he's older, obviously, and he's a little bit higher priority, which is fine. Like, I'm totally cool with. But they literally did not take my blood pressure. They didn't check my pulse. They didn't get me a wet washcloth or anything until like about an hour and a half after I'd already been there. And all the people that were in there, like the whole time I was in there, didn't even do that for me. It was a guy that had been out, like out doing stuff. He had come back and he was like, oh, I want you to lay down. Here's a wet washcloth for your neck and your head. Do that. And he took my pulse and he's like, oh, well, you feel better. Like, you don't feel like you're having a crazy pulse or anything. I was like, yeah, because I've been sitting in a chair for like an hour and a half and I'm fine now. Like, I feel like I still feel like crap, but I'm not hot anymore per se. I'm hot to the touch, but like I'm not overheated, if that makes sense. Sorry, my eyebrows, I always have problems with my eyebrows. One always has this little like whoop, and the other one does not. Whatever. And so I just did my eyebrows, and I honestly don't know what this was. It's just a brown eyebrow pencil that like, you know, twists up. But I've rubbed all the names off of it, so sorry. It's drugstore, but that's all I can tell you. And then I'm going to use my tattoo liner from Kat Von D on my lids and things. But anyway, so they didn't do anything till later, which I was a little angry about because I feel like I really could have used an IV to really get up to like better, because that really messed me up. And there was a girl next to me that got an IV before I did, and she came in after me, and she was like, oh, well, you know, I'm overheated and I know it, but I'm fine. I don't need anything. And then she got an IV and I didn't, and I was like, cool. Guess I'll just die. Thanks, though. But anyway, so I was trying to cool off this whole time. My poor husband's trying to entertain our daughter in this small corner, but also trying to stay out of everybody's way because it was a very small little room. And so anyway, they basically told me at that point, you know, the game has started. And by the way, we have gotten 0 texts from the people we were supposed to meet up with this whole time. The hours have gone by and we have gotten no texts, which, anyway. So they basically tell me that I can either go home or I can go to the hospital. Basically, they don't want me to go out in the heat, so if I feel bad enough, I need to go to the hospital. Other than that, they want me to just go home, get in the air conditioning, and drink a lot of the water. So, and I did not want to go to the hospital. I do not like the hospitals. I'm okay with an IV now because I've had a baby, and you honestly just get used to all of that stuff, all getting poked with needles, because I used to be very afraid of needles and like pass out, but you just get so many shots and things when you're pregnant that you get over it. I know that sounds easier said than done because I still get nervous, but you really just learn to, I guess it's not get over it, you learn to find ways to deal with the anxiety of that. And my wings are totally different. That's cool. That's fine. We'll just keep it. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that. That's, Sorry, I had to concentrate because obviously it was not happening for me. But anyway, so they tell me this, and I'm like literally just so disappointed at this point. I just can't. I'm so disappointed in like my friends and my family that were supposed to meet up. You know, I'm not even mad. Like, I'm just honestly like, why did you invite me if we weren't going to hang out and you weren't going to text me and I had no idea what I'm doing? Basically at this point I'm just like so disappointed in myself for letting that happen and like being that way, even though I have no, like, my husband obviously was not mad, but I was just so irritated that I ruined the day and our little day trip, because we don't get to do that very often, and wasted basically $120 on literally nothing because I didn't even get to stay at all. And so they basically tell my husband to go get the car, and that he has to go get the car and pull it up to the closest gate, which was like literally right around the corner from the medical whatever, and pull it up, and they will wheelchair me out to the van. And so he goes and gets the van, right? And I'm just waiting, which is super awkward because at this point the wind and or not the wind, the air conditioning in the stadium, no, the temperature, there we go. The temperature has officially dropped because it's starting to be nighttime, and it's nice. It's literally like so nice outside at that point when I go out there, and I'm just like, awesome. I should have just stayed in my car, or should have just drove up several hours later than what I had been discussed, and I would have been just freaking fine, and I could have watched, and I could have enjoyed, instead of wasting money, honey. And I was just so angry. I was so angry. And so they pull me up to the car, and I get in, and my husband freaking tells me, he tells me that as he was driving up, he sees the group of people that we were supposed to meet up with just then walking in. It's at 7 now. It is like 7:30 at this point. We went into the stadium at like 4. Okay, we went in at 4. We had been in our car since like 2:30, and it's waiting on them to text us back, and they just got to the stadium at fucking 7:30. Excuse my language. I'm so angry. At 7:30, and he sees all of them walk in, and I'm literally just losing my mind at that point. I was just like, what? What did you say? And he sees that the person that we're texting has their phone in their hand. And so he tried to call, like, immediately after we got in the car, he tried to call them and say, look, we gotta leave because they won't let us stay. And it rings 3 times and shuts off. I was so mad because I'm like, okay, well, I guess their phone could have died. But I know there's 3 other people there that have cell phones with my number in them. So, that could have been talking to me as well. You know what I mean? And so at this point, I'm just trying to keep it together. Like the calm woman I am. And yeah, we were so mad about it, and we had a lovely drive home, other than the raging headache I had because of dehydration. And we just took our little butts back home, got in the shower, and went to bed. And we got a text the next morning, or like later that night, we were already asleep, I guess, that said, oh hey, sorry, my phone died. And we were like, okay, I figured, but still, it's a little frustrating. And it is hard to know, and it's hard to not be mad for me, because we don't have a lot of money. And so we... Hey guys, so I was recording, and my camera shut off. But I was just saying that we saved a lot of money to go on that trip. So, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this. We are going to do my hair next. As you can see, this is what happens when I sleep on it. So I always have to wet it down and re-scrunch it. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to, like, see. Welcome to my bathroom. Not special at all. Okay. I'm just going to put you down. And I don't know if you can even see me, so that's great. Awesome. That's the start. Cool. Oh, camera cord. Sorry guys. Okay. So, I always just... Sorry, you're gonna see my butt. Basically, I just get my hair wet. And this is no product. Cool. So basically, try to get as much water as I can, and I scrunch my hands as I do like one of these. I don't have anything fancy. Oh. I get all of my things, and I will show you those in just a second. Let me see. Okay. Oh, and you can't see me. Cool. Awesome. Just let me fix you so you can see. Huh. Okay. Swip my finger, my camera. Okay, so I have my hair and it's wet, and I brush it out, and I know that sounds horrible, I'm sorry. I do have a detangler in here, and I just give it like a rough, just to get all the, because I tangle really bad on the underneath part of my hair. I actually have a perm because my hair is like not even wavy, it's just annoying normally, and I wanted something I could do that looked like I put in a lot more effort than what I did, if that makes sense. So I got like a spiral perm, and this is like several months after, so it is quite like loosened up, and I actually quite like it. I like it better. So I use Garner Fructis style Curl Renew Activating Milk Spray with coconut oil. Looks like this. I just use this, and I spray it through the whole thing. Sorry if I'm talking quieter. I'm trying not to wake up my child. And then I take Garner Fructis style Wonder Waves Wave Enhancing Spray. Looks like this. Yeah, I get all these at Walmart, most of these, because I am broke all the time. And my mom's actually a hairdresser, and I buy some stuff through her. I'm so sorry, that's awesome. I got lots of shedding, always. That's another thing, fun thing about having a baby. You shed way more than you used to. So that's cool. And of course I was one of those ladies that did not get the thick, voluptuous, curly, wavy, thick hair, shiny, all that. No, my hair did not grow when I was pregnant. And I take 2 squirts and I roughly just part my hair, and I use the
Diva Curl Styling Cream. I really like that stuff because it doesn't leave my hair crunchy, because I'm a big texture person. I do not like crunchy. I don't feel like a lot of people do. And then I just run it through. I really just try to work it in there. Just get it in there. But anyway, continuing my story, the next day, I was super smart, and we were actually going to go to the lake with my mother and father-in-law and all the children in Oklahoma. I think it's Call Lake, maybe. I don't know. We went there. It was like an hour and a half drive, which was really nice because we got to have some of the kids in our car and sing and talk. And I drank lots of water that day, and it was a lot cooler, so I did not have the same problems. I was very tired, but I would be damned if we didn't get to do anything on our vacation. I was determined to go. Anyway, so I just go in and I just start scrunching. Scrunching all over the place. Cha-cha-da-da-da. Anyway, so we went to the lake, and it was super nice. It was super fun. And of course I was in the water, so I did not get overheated. The next day, though, slept like a rock because I was so tired. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I do for my hair. And I always air dry, because who got time for a blow dryer? Not me. And I found that if I blow dry my hair, even with the diffuser, I get real frizzy real fast. So this is what I do, and I just let it dry. Sorry, I'm putting my products back up, because if I don't do it now, I won't do it later, and they will just sit out, because that's who I am. Alright, so anyway, this is about what it looks like. Looks like a hot mess, I know. And I just take it and and that's what it does until, and I just occasionally do that until it's dry, and I just have like nice little whatevers. Not really curls, not really waves. Whatever. It's better than what it used to be. Alright, well, sorry I ended in the bathroom, but this is about where it is, and maybe I'll check in later when it's dry, and see how it looks. But that's about all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching.